My name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine. I have started recording my videos after brutal Russian invasion to Ukraine. But I want to demonstrate to you that Ukraine is not limited to war and it has many more to offer the world. So far it is dangerous to travel to Ukraine and I will show you the best places by myself. But I do dream the day when it is safe to come to Ukraine comes soon, and together we will be able to experience many beautiful discoveries and so far discover Ukraine with me. We are in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, one of the strongest and the bravest cities in the world. When traveling to different capitals of the world, I always love visiting their central street because it is the heart of the capital and the character of its people. Khreshchatyk is the main central street of Kyiv, and it begins with the European Square. Why European? Because Kyiv is in the heart of Europe. I think it is very symbolic to see the flags of European Union and the emblem of NATO in a country that was brutally attacked for its pro-European democratic choice, but now demonstrates strength and resilience. This is an improvised memorial and portraits of Heavenly 100, victims of evil Yanukovych regime, who was a totally pro-Russian, artificially created political figure. These people gave their life for independence of Ukraine back in 2014. And let us remember that actually 2014 is the year of the start of Russian war in Ukraine. Behind me you can see the heart of Khreshchatyk Street, the Independence Square, also known as Maidan Nezalezhnosti. It gave its name to the Revolution of Dignity back in 2014. It was known during Orange Revolution in 2004, but its history is much longer. You know, Kyiv is one of the oldest European cities, and this territory located two parts of the old princely town and was known as the Crossroads. What is also important here, much of the territory was covered by a lake and it protected Kyiv from invaders. But during Tatar-Mongol invasion in the 13th century, this was the place of major battles. The monument behind me was built back in 2001 to mark 10th anniversary of modern Ukrainian independence, because Ukraine is an ancient state that lost and regained its independence a number of times during its long history. On the top of the column we can see a woman, a protector of Ukraine, holding verbena in her hands, and yes, all of that is covered with gold. Khreshchatyk and Maidan Nezalezhnosti offers many beautiful views with a lot of history in them. For example, behind me you can see a column of St. Sophia Cathedral, which is a part of UNESCO heritage in Ukraine and dates back to the 11th century. A place where many important historical events took place, and this heart is really strong because, taken into account hundreds of years of dangers imposed on Ukraine from our northern neighbor terrorist state Russia, we are living and we are building our future the way we want it. are in the heart of Kyiv, actually less than 500. How do you say I love Ukraine? You say Я люблю Україну. And I really люблю Україну. By the way, we are less than 1 kilometer away from Zelensky and all the administrative important institutions in Kyiv. Summer is a good season to visit Kyiv. Spring, autumn and winter are also good seasons to visit one of the most beautiful capitals of Europe. The only problem is the orc season that we experience right now, but I'm sure soon it will be over and many of you will come and experience Ukraine. Behind me you see a reconstruction of the old gates, which were known as Latski Gates, and the Tatar-Mongol invasion started from this place because marshes and lakes that surrounded the old part of Kyiv that is on the top behind me got frozen and they managed to break into the city. Actually, 1214 is a very tragic year in the history of Kyiv because since Tatar-Mongol invasion, its history went to a decline for a couple of decades. Behind me you can see a building of the Central Post Office of Kyiv, which is also the geographical center of Kyiv, and perhaps you can recognize Stalin's Ampir, because the majority of buildings now located on Khreshchatyk were built at the end of 40s and in the 50s. And this is an improvised memorial to the heroes who gave their lives in Russian war against Ukraine. And here are not only Ukrainian flags, but also lots of flags from different countries of the world, as many people join international legions to protect democracy and freedom in Ukraine. Once again, this war is not limited to Ukraine. It's about civilizational choices. It's about democracy and freedom. Let's take a walk in the heart of Kyiv, Khreshchatyk. Kyiv is very beautiful, and I think you agree. Central administration of Kyiv. Azovstal, free Mariupol defenders. Azovstal is a symbol of Ukrainian resilience, and I'm sure one day every criminal responsible for capturing Ukrainian protectors of Azovstal will be hanging in The Hague. And this is Central Department Store. Every central street of a central city must have a central department store. This is ours. You know, I like repeating that. I hope the day when it is safe to travel to Ukraine comes soon and you will feel safe and exciting sitting next to me. So far, Khreshchatyk, this beautiful street, is still a dangerous place because Putin is still the president of Russia. Chestnut trees are symbols of Kyiv, and there are many of them on Khreshchatyk. They give shade and they are beautiful to look at. The history of Khreshchatyk as a street begins in the end of 18th century, when it quickly develops and becomes one of the most important streets of the city, together with different fairs and institutions that appear here. But the face of the street changed tremendously during the Second World War, and not all destructions were brought by Nazis, some by Soviets. When the city was occupied back in September 1941, leaving it, Soviets decided to mine all buildings on Khreshchatyk Street, and they exploded, bringing serious destructions to the city, but to Nazi invaders too. In the result, the face of Khreshchatyk changed forever. Many beautiful big buildings were built during Stalin's period in 40s and 50s, and now they are known as a special architectural style, Stalin's Empire. At the end of Khreshchatyk Street, Bessarabska Square, we will be able to see some of the old buildings that remain since the beginning of Khreshchatyk history. And this is one of the most recognizable buildings on Khreshchatyk Street. Honestly, I would like to have a flat on the top. As promised, this is the part of old Khreshchatyk as it was before Soviet explosions and Soviet reconstructions. This building dates back to 19th century. Khreshchatyk Street finishes with Bessarabka Square and Bessarabka Market, so is our today's excursion. But I believe that traveling without food is not interesting, so we will finish this excursion with the introduction of the Kyiv cake. It is a famous and very tasty recipe that I wish all of you taste one day when you come to Ukraine. And I want this day to come sooner. That's why we have to be united in our fight against Russia. Thank you for buying me coffees, will be needed today. Thank you for becoming my patrons, but most importantly, thank you for your support of Ukraine. If you want to discover more of my beautiful country, please subscribe. Slava Ukraini!